No gimmicks. Just survive. But there's a twist. Once you pick a team, you can't pick them again. One wrong call, and it's over. Your name fades. Your shot gone. But survive long enough, be the last one standing, and you'll win our grand prize. Not just the glory. Not just the bragging rights. Something more. Sign up by Wednesday, September 3rd at x-streamsports.com/survivor. Do you trust your gut? Can you outlast them all? This is more than a game. This is Extreme Sports Survivor.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a Thursday, the 7th day of August for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic with you as we get you up and get you going here this morning. Again, 402-834-1330 is our telephone number if you'd like to join us here today. 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunication fan line. If you'd like to chime in with us at the breakfast table, so to speak, give us a call. We'll discuss whatever is on your mind here today. Tyson will be joining us in just a few minutes. Running slightly behind here today. Lots of things going on in the sports world. The Nebraska volleyball team will start the season ranked number 1 in the AVCA preseason coaches poll. Marks Nebraska's 109th week all-time at number 1 in the AVCA coaches poll, the most of any program in the nation. Talk about that coming up. Meanwhile, former Nebraska volleyball coach John Cook has been named the general manager and co-owner of the Omaha Supernovas. This comes as the professional volleyball team makes a move to Major League Volleyball, so his short retirement did not last long. He retired as the Nebraska head coach earlier this year. Of course, Danny Busboom Kelly took over for him as a head coach, and now John Cook is the general manager and co-owner the Omaha Supernovas. I had some Legion baseball played yesterday. Lincoln East and Millard North playing in the Central Plains Regional up in Fargo, North Dakota. Lincoln East was able to pick up a win over Harrisburg of South Dakota. Elkhorn North, they lost their game to Shakopee of Minnesota. So Lincoln East will play the winner's bracket game coming up this afternoon at 3:30. Meanwhile, Elkhorn North will play in the loser's bracket game beginning at noon today. Meanwhile, the Class B state tournaments were decided yesterday. Waverly won the Class B National Division state tournament in Minden. Hickman wins the American Division tournament in Auburn yesterday. Malcolm won the Class C state championship for the 4th year in a row as they beat Pender by a score of 12-0. And the Kansas City Royals picked up a win over the Boston Red Sox yesterday, winning by the score of 7-3. Kansas City will open up a weekend series at Minnesota coming up on Friday. So those are just some of the things we'll be talking about here this morning as we get you up and get you going here on this Thursday morning. Also going to have some comments from Danny Busboom Kelly coming up today, the head coach for the Nebraska volleyball team. Huskers getting ready for another season. The practice is underway in Lincoln. They've got their red-white game coming up on August the 9th. Something new for Nebraska volleyball. They get an alumni game scheduled for August the 16th ahead of their AVCA showcase that will be hosting at Pinnacle Bank Arena this year. Nebraska will open the season on August the 22nd against Pittsburgh. So the Husker volleyball team ranked number 1 in the AVCA preseason coaches poll. Practice is underway, and again, the red-white spring game, not the spring game, but the red-white game is coming up on August the 9th. The alumni game coming up on August the 16th, and then the Huskers taking on Pittsburgh on August the 22nd. Those are the first dates you need to know about for Husker volleyball. So we'll hear from Danny Bus Boom Kelly coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Mike Will, Tyson Evronic, with you on this Thursday morning. Good morning, my man.
Good morning.
Nice that you could join us today.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate the wake-up call this morning.
Sometimes the old body just doesn't get started.
Actually, no, it started. I answered the first alarm, and instead of hitting snooze like I normally do 18 times to wake up, I said, I'll be up and I'll be refreshed and I'll be ready to go. And I turned off the alarm and I went right back to bed.
No, that's bad.
Yep. Didn't hit snooze. You got to hit snooze at least. I have a wake-up process, and it's like hitting the snooze button, or at least, if not hitting the snooze button, like setting 7 different alarms that like go down in a particular order. And I just thought, I don't need these extra couple alarms. I'm good.
No, the snooze alarm is the worst thing that's ever been invented.
Oh, I think it's the best.
You need to set your alarm clock. I've told you this several times. You need to start the alarm clock, set it across the room from your bed.
Yeah.
So you actually have to get up out of bed to shut the alarm off.
Now, just didn't work.
It
didn't work out this morning. So.
All right, so we'll bring you in from the bullpen.
Appreciate it.
I've ran down the sports headlines for you this morning. Interesting thing happening in Major League Baseball yesterday. The Toronto Blue Jays, they capped a series for the ages on yesterday out in Denver, and just added to the woes of the Colorado Rockies in the process. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had 4 hits, including a home run. Davis Schneider went deep twice as the Blue Jays routed the Rockies again at Coors Field. They won yesterday by a score of 20-1.
That's a good number.
Yeah, Toronto finished with 63 hits in the series, the most by a team in a 3-game series since 1900. Now, the Blue Jays won the series opener 15-1 the other day. They set a franchise record for runs in a 3-game series with 45. It's the 6th time in franchise history that they have scored at least 20 runs in a series. That's since 1977. Meanwhile, for the Rockies, their misery continues. They are now 30-84 on the season, and they have a run differential of minus 316 for the season. Their 114 games are the fewest to reach a minus 300 run differential since 1900. Surpassing the 1911 Boston Rustlers, who had a minus 300 run differential in 118 games, and at least the last team to reach the mark in fewer games was the 1899 Cleveland Spiders, who did it in just 73 games before folding at the end of the season. So the Rockies, their misery continues. Boy, when you get beat 20-1 in Major League Baseball, you got to look yourself in the mirror when you wake up. When you wake up this morning, if you wake up this morning, you got to look yourself in the mirror.
You're putting up some football numbers here in August if you're the Toronto Blue Jays. But yeah, 20-1. That's rough. It's been a rough season, and then on top of that, like the Rockies are. They sold off Ryan McMahon at the trade deadline to the New York Yankees, and I don't know. It's been a rough year, and at this point, I think you're just kind of, if you're a Rockies fan, if you're going through this misery, at this point, you're like let's make it the most miserable. There's no turning around the ship. It's done sinking into the ocean. Let's go ahead and hit rock bottom so that we can forever be remembered as one of the most Like, let's have this misery be historic, and they're doing that at alarming levels. And
yeah, we're pulling out records.
You're tossing me names that I have never heard before.
Yeah, 1911. We're talking about the Boston Rustlers, and we're talking about the 1899 Cleveland Spiders. Now, I know we got some Colorado Rockies fans that join us each and every day here in the lobby, but boy, your team stinks. The Rockies are god awful.
It's been rough.
But you tell me that they continue to fill the stadium.
Absolutely, they do.
Out in Colorado,
and their attendance numbers are among the best in the league. And it's only because, again, like what we talk about, especially when we get into the discussion on what to do with Kansas City Royals. They're centrally located downtown location. It's literally everything for the Colorado Rockies. And they draw in, just casual fans like, hey, let's go see a baseball game today. Their ticket prices, whatever you say, like some say, oh, their ticket prices are so cheap because they suck so bad. But the game has always been relatively affordable to go to games down in Denver, and they attract the casual fan that's just kind of hanging out in Denver. And what do you want to do? Oh, let's go to a ball game today. Let's go to a Rockies game today. And it might not even be for the support of the Rockies. They, Denver, a nice tourist hub, so you have a chance to go see the Shoheis. You have a chance to go see the Mike Trouts. You have a chance to go see these Major League Baseball players, and that's really attractive because of the location.
Yeah, but Toronto, wow, what a weekend they had, winning yesterday by a score of 20-1. So wanted to bring that up in Major League Baseball. One other thing before we get to the news and sports break.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, I anticipated hearing a lot more from the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, and I have. He's been pretty quiet here since the training camp got underway. Not a whole lot coming out of Pittsburgh, and I thought this was going to be a big soap opera when Aaron Rodgers kind of went to Pittsburgh. It's been quiet there in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't heard boo. And in fact, when I was talking about the Steelers quarterback room yesterday with the injury to their rookie,
yeah,
I had to think about for a second. I'm like, oh wait, no, he's not the starter. Rodgers is probably going to be the starter, but I didn't remember that because it has been. Yeah, you haven't heard boo.
No, I anticipated a lot more
drama,
when he signed for Pittsburgh. I said, "Let the circus begin." But boy, it's been really quiet in Pittsburgh, and now Aaron Rodgers believes the new-look Pittsburgh Steelers offense is starting to figure things out. That's the latest word out of Pittsburgh. The veteran quarterback says he's even open to showcasing how far the offense has come in Saturday's preseason opener against Jacksonville if head coach Mike Tomlin asks him to play on this Saturday. Now, the 41-year-old last appeared in an exhibition game 2 years ago during his first season with the Jets. Before that, the NFL's oldest active player had not run onto the field for a game that didn't count since 2018. But he says he's willing to maybe take some snaps in Saturday's preseason opener against Jacksonville. Of course, the short-term loss, you mentioned rookie quarterback Will Howard. He is out with a hand injury, won't be available for Saturday's game. That leaves Aaron Rodgers, veteran Mason Rudolph, and Skylar Thompson to split the snaps against the Jags on Saturday. So here you go. Rodgers could see some action in a preseason game for the first time in a couple of years.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like that either. He's got to take some snaps sooner or later, but rolling him out on the first game, the preseason game, I don't like that.
Nope. I'd run Wildcat before I run Aaron Rodgers.
Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson will get a lot of snaps this weekend. Aaron might roll him out for a series or two. Would you risk that?
Nope. Not with that quarterback situation as it is. I mean, it's already dicey enough, and you're kind of hanging your hopes on Rodgers, and we know that he comes in with an injury risk. And I'm not saying that because he's old. I'm saying that because historically, look at what the amount of games he's compiled in the past couple seasons, and the list is not very long. He's an injury risk, and you don't want your first non-contact operation of the offseason to be contact on that Achilles or contact on that knee. I don't trust that offensive line, even in preseason, to protect that investment. And I'd hold him out till week 1. Some guys you just don't need to see, right? We already know what Rodgers can do. We've already seen his ability. You don't need to say, let's put eyeballs on Aaron Rodgers and see how he goes up against the second-team defense here. You don't need to see that.
Does he need to see playing time in the preseason at all, or would you just roll him out for week 1?
You roll him out for week 1. Yeah, set for the regular season. I mean, a lot of teams are starting to lean and move that direction anyway because of their investments getting hurt in the preseason and basically torpedoing their season before it even starts. And so I don't need to see what Rodgers can do. I know what Rodgers can do. Rodgers can do that for me in week 1.
All right, so keep your eyeballs on the NFL preseason game on Saturday between the Steelers and Jacksonville. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers makes an appearance in the first preseason game of the year.
Quickly, before we get to news and sports break, and we might have another nugget here, I did want to bring up an article from CBS Sports this morning is getting into a lengthy debate about our favorite topic, preseason polls. And whether or not they serve a value or even a purpose in 2025. And this all coming because the Big 12 Conference became the latest conference to get rid of its formal preseason media poll. The Big 10, of course, having not done one in a number of years, having theirs done by the Cleveland Sports Clipper Examiner Herald, or whatever the hell that's called.
The Plain Dealer.
Oh, the Plain Dealer. Thank you. And the Big 12 basically coming out and saying we don't want preseason perceptions tainting final poll results. According to Kansas State coach Chris Kleinman, when the college football playoff committee comes out with their first poll, that is when the AP media and coaches poll should come out. The narrative tells you everything, and unfortunately, that's not great for the Big 12. It's probably not great for the ACC. It's just not great, end quote. And the argument goes on from there. Because the preseason perceptions, like I told you, a team that midway down especially Big 12, take a TCU, Iowa State, some of those teams that are probably going to start outside the top 25. I think Iowa State's in there. Frost, for instance. Let's bring back our good friend Scott Frost. His year at UCF, when they went on and they beat Auburn and they declared themselves like co-national champions or UCF national champions or whatever. That magical season that we decided to go pursue this guy, they were so far out of the top 25 that by the time that they rattled off all these wins, they were only able to get up to a bowl game. They went unbeaten. And had they started in the top 25 or anywhere close, because of the initial preseason perception, buried them so far in the top 25 that even an undefeated season capped off with a bowl victory couldn't get you in the postseason. Now, granted, that was when we didn't have expansion. That was when we didn't have a conference at large go in. But the argument to be made is some of these mid teams, the ACCs, the Big 12s, even the Pac-12 with lipstick, they don't have a shot in hell to make this thing because they're not one of the big dogs and they're not in the top preseason top 25. And you're talking about a team that hasn't played a game. And sometimes you see these teams lose 4 or 5 games that are in the preseason top 25. What the hell they were doing in there when you have an undefeated team that comes up out of nowhere but can't even get recognized by the committee because they're not high enough in the early eyeball top 25. But yeah, get rid of this crap. So the argument is gaining steam to trash these preseason polls.
In all sports or just for football?
I mean, the argument right now is football because football is king.
Yeah.
So you're taking that. I would assume, right, if you eliminate the preseason polls in football, the other sports would start to follow suit.
Well, my number one story today is the AVCA preseason coaches poll for volleyball.
I understand where you're coming from.
So you're saying get rid of that too?
What's it serve? We haven't played a game yet. We haven't played a match.
Haven't even played a match under our coach.
Nope. We had no idea. We're going off last year in coaching stats and
who we brought in.
And who we brought in. We have a tough-ass schedule. You know, if anyone thinks we're going to blaze through and go undefeated and be national champs, they're out of their minds. Not only do we have we're in the Big Ten Conference, which is the mecca of all volleyball conferences. You know, we're rolling with one of the toughest non-conference, too. I just don't want to see like an early loss and everyone go, here we go.
Well, it could come right out of the gate.
Could easily come right out of the gate.
In that AVCA showcase that we're going to host, we've got number 3 and number 6. We're going to play right out of the chute under a new head coach, new system, new regime, new everything. And we're going to roll out of the gates with the number 3 and number 6 rated team in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Nebraska is up against on volleyball. We'll welcome your comments on maybe scrapping preseason polls. If you'd like to chime in with us, give us a call, 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line, 402-834-1330. If you'd like to leave us a message on our social media sites, we're monitoring those comments as well. I guess I'm all right with the preseason polls. Being in the sports biz, it gives us something to talk about. And Tyson's on the other side. He says scrap them until later in the year. Which side are you on? Usually Tyson is out on an island by himself. We'll see if you have any people joining you on the island this morning.
I'd be curious. I mean, here's the deal. Like, I don't mind talking about what teams we anticipate are going to be good, but don't crown their ass in July. Don't tell me that they're the number one team. Group a bunch of teams together that could be put teams on a watch list. Hell, we've been doing watch list stories all off season long. Doak Walker watch list, Max O'Brien watch list, the freshman of the year watch list. We have all these watch lists that have upwards to 75 to 100 people on them.
Now that's an idea.
Start throwing some teams on a national championship watch list, a first-year playoff watch list, a potential conference champion watch list.
Then we
can generate some conversation.
Yeah, that's an interesting spin to everything. If you're going to get rid of polls, just put everybody on the watch list. These 25 teams are on the watch list, or make it 35. Pull out a number. I don't care. 50. Yeah. That way you get down to some of those teams that you were talking about. Get down to 50, put everybody on a watch list. These 50 teams are on the watch list to win a possible national championship.
The Big 50, the preseason Big 50.
The Extreme Sports Top 50.
50 under 50. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's a halfway decent idea.
It's not half bad when I'm
spilling out
onto the studio.
Yeah, if they're gonna scrap the preseason polls, just put everybody on a watch list. The top 50. These teams have a viable chance to win a national championship.
There, fixed it for you, college football.
See, it's not so tough.
You're welcome. These people get paid 6-7 figure salaries to sit in an office and screw things up. I just solved it in 25 minutes. Less than that. I was 5 minutes late today. I solved it in 20 minutes on half an hour of sleep.
Oh, there's got to be some drawbacks. I don't know what they are, but those executives that are sitting in those glass offices, they're going to have some drawbacks.
Money would be the only thing.
Probably is.
Well, we can get that sponsored.
Yeah, it's Waking Up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports coming up on 726.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Start with news out of Hastings Fire this morning. Hastings Fire and Rescue responding to a structure fire at around 5:50 in the morning yesterday at 1518 West 7th Street. The one resident, an adult male, exited the structure on his own but did sustain minor injuries. The fire was under control in about 5 minutes. It's believed to have been unintentional and caused by combustibles too close to a stovetop. The fire was contained in the kitchen, but the structure sustained heat and smoke damage as a result of the incident. Meanwhile, numbers out from the Hastings Police Department as part of the month-long speeding prevention enforcement campaign that ran from July 14th through the 31st. The campaign was funded through a grant from the Nebraska Department of Transportation. The Speeding Prevention Enforcement Grant allowed Hastings Police Department officers to work overtime on locations where speeding and injury crashes are more likely to occur. They worked an additional 130 hours of overtime during the grant, which resulted in more than 120 citations issued. The majority of the citations issued were for speeding and other traffic-related violations. However, citations for child restraints, no vehicle insurance, and reckless driving were also issued, along with 4 arrests for driving under the influence of alcohol. Meanwhile, residents on Hastings and Lincoln Avenues between 7th and 10th will be without electricity this morning to facilitate the trimming of trees close to high voltage lines. The planned outage is scheduled to begin, well, you're probably already in the dark, at 7 a.m. and last until noon. It is now coming up on 7:28. We'll swing things back over your way. Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, the Nebraska volleyball team will start this season ranked number 1 in the AVCA preseason coaches poll. It marks Nebraska's 109th week all-time at number 1 in the AVCA coaches poll, the most of any program in the nation. Last time the Huskers were ranked number 1 to start a season was prior to the 2022 season. Nebraska was last ranked number 1 in the AVCA poll on November 27th of 2023. Nebraska will be tested right out of the gate with matches against number 3 Pittsburgh and number 6 Stanford in the AVCA First Serve Showcase at Pinnacle Bank Arena on August 22nd and 24th. Nebraska has 12 regular season matches scheduled against preseason top 25 teams, including 6 against top 10 teams. Penn State is second in the preseason poll, followed by Pittsburgh, Louisville, and Texas. Rounding out the top 10 are Stanford, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Texas A&M, and SMU. Former Nebraska volleyball coach John Cook has been named the general manager and co-owner of the Omaha Supernovas. This comes as the professional volleyball team makes a move to Major League Volleyball. Cook retired from Nebraska earlier this year. Of course, Danny Busboom Kelly took over for him as head coach. And the Supernovas also announced that head coach Laura Bird Keene will be moving on from the franchise for other leadership opportunities. She'll be replaced by U.S. Olympic gold medalist Lucas Slob. Lincoln East beat Harrisburg of South Dakota 6-0 yesterday in the Central Plains Regional up in Fargo, North Dakota. East will play West Fargo of North Dakota at 3:30 this afternoon. Meanwhile, Elkhorn North lost to Shakopee of Minnesota 6-1. North will play Yankton of South Dakota at noon today. Waverly won the Class B National Division State Tournament yesterday in Minden. Waverly beat Wayne 12-3 in the championship game after beating Alliance 8-2 earlier in the day. Hickman won the American Division Tournament in Auburn. with a 10-0 win over Springfield. Hickman will play Waverly for the Class B state championship on Saturday. Malcolm won the Class C state championship for the fourth year in a row. Malcolm beat Pender 12-0 to win the title yesterday in Sutton. And the Kansas City Royals beat Boston 7-3 yesterday. Kansas City will open up a series at Minnesota on Friday. First pitch will be at 7:10. That's a check on your sports headlines at 7:31 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Thursday, the summer heat cranks up once again. Plenty of sunshine, light winds in the southeast around 10 miles per hour and a high of 94. That's not the whole story, though, because the dew points will be hovering in the low 70s, which will make it feel like it's nearly triple digits. Heat continues into Friday, where we'll have a high around 100 degrees. With the heat index, it'll feel like it's 105. Chance of storms Friday night, and then mid-80s on Saturday and Sunday.
Right now in Hastings, as you wake up and get going, we've got southeast winds at about 6 miles per hour. It is clear. It is 70.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and Owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high-speed, dirt-slinging, adrenaline-pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class winged beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track. Extreme Sports has every football season. There's that one fan, the one who sees the upsets coming, the one who doesn't just cheer, they calculate. They survive. This year, that fan could be you. Introducing Extreme Sports Survivor, the ultimate test of football instinct. Pick one NFL team to win each week. No spreads. No gimmicks. Just survive. But there's a twist. Once you pick a team, you can't pick them again. One wrong call, and it's over. Your name fades. Your shot gone. But survive long enough, be the last one standing, and you'll win our grand prize. Not just the glory, not just the bragging rights, something more. Sign up by Wednesday, September 3rd at x-streamsports.com/survivor. Do you trust your gut? Can you outlast them all? This is more than a game. This is Extreme Sports Survivor. Survivor.
Mike Will, Tyson or Bronick with you. It's a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Thursday. Again, getting some folks signed up for our Survivor game coming up this fall. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is go to our website, x-streamsports.com. You'll find it there. Get signed up and get ready to go. The Survivor series, so to speak, here on Extreme Sports.
According to Vegas, as we take a look a month in advance at the NFL Week 1 odds, got some early favorites coming in on the money line.
Who's got the biggest favorites?
Early edge. Philly is a minus 330 on the money line, minus 6.5 against Dallas, 6.5 point favorite. Minus 300 and a 6 spread for the Washington Commanders over the New York Giants. So the Commanders could be a popular play right out of the chute, depending on what happens with their star wide receiver here in the offseason. Let's see, minus 260, minus 5.5, Arizona. If you want to get the Cardinals out of the way, they've got the Saints and are a heavy favorite in that game. The Bengals, as I mentioned yesterday, a heavy favorite against the Cleveland Browns at minus 240. A minus 390, Denver over the Tennessee Titans. Probably because I don't think, does Tennessee have a quarterback yet? Cam Ward, right?
Probably.
Like he's going to start. The rookie will start.
So they've got Denver favored.
They got heavy favorite at home against the Tennessee Titans.
See, Denver could be a choice on the Week 1 for Survivor.
Okay, I have to ask this. You're playing Survivor. You're a Chiefs fan. You hate Denver. You hate Cincinnati. You're not a big Buffalo fan. Are you playing the Denver Broncos if they are a heavy enough favorite? Are you playing Denver so that you can advance in Survivor, or is that too toxic for you to click the Denver button?
No, I'll do that.
Your allegiances stop at Survivor.
Yeah, when there's contests and stuff like that on the line, yeah, I can punch the Denver button.
Yeah, because like you ask like Yankees fans, if we're doing this baseball style, you ask Yankees fans, they're not clicking the Red Sox, even if the Red Sox were playing the Rockies.
Yeah, I guess I can go ahead and do that.
Yep, no allegiances whatsoever.
So, yeah, see, those are some of the big-time spreads. I'm surprised by Philadelphia and Dallas. 6.5, I think you said?
Yeah, I'm not.
Again, they don't have to cover the spread in this game.
Nope.
It's just pick the winner. That's all you got to do. Pick the winner.
You can take a look at the money line favorite, which is essentially picking the winner, and you take a look at who has the biggest. Yeah, so your minus 300s. There's three games at minus 300. Philadelphia, Washington, and what was the other one I said? Denver are all minus 300 or greater.
All right, so get signed up for the Survivor deal, and you can go ahead and pick up your first week games a month in advance. I don't know if I do that yet.
I'm going to wait to see how the preseason shakes out.
See how that shakes out. Make sure you don't lose any players.
Yep.
So,
IT Man's got a point on the polls, saying your point about the debate around polls is valid, but you still have to start somewhere, and that starting point is the preseason poll. You can't determine postseason matchups or rankings down the line without an initial framework. Also, the media needs those top 10 matchups to build. so they can get viewers and dollars. But here's the thing, though. Like, I don't need numbers in front of a school to know it's a big-time matchup. If you told me Ohio State and Texas were playing in a non-conference game, first of all, I'd say both of those schools are freaking crazy for shooting themselves in the foot before they get out of the starting gate. But you tell me Texas and Ohio State are playing, I don't need a 1 and 2 by their names to know, hell, that's going to be a pretty good matchup.
But to a casual fan, you know, we're so firmly entrenched with what's going on. We know that's a big-time matchup. But little Joe down the street that might watch college football occasionally, he's going to see 1 and 2. He say, hell, I'm going to watch that game.
This sport's not for the casual fan.
Sure it is.
We don't set up a championship structure for the casual fan.
Sure you do. Sure you do.
I can't even really speak on this topic because I don't know what it's like to be a casual college football fan. I have no freaking clue. Or
any of your people that you hang out with. I would consider your little ring of friends that are firmly entrenched in the sports world. But what happens, let's bring up a female. A casual female fan.
Okay.
And she's going to sit down and watch a football, maybe some Saturday, and she says, oh, this is 1 versus 2, honey? This is 1 versus 2. This is a good game. Let's sit down and watch this. You don't see my point.
You don't see
a casual fan because
I don't see
it's so hard for you to visualize a casual fan.
That doesn't exist. That does not. And even the females in our friends groups, like they're not.
They're pretty knowledgeable too.
They don't need numbers. They know big games. Yeah, that's.
See, your circle of friends.
I can't see out
is a lot different than mine.
I can't see out of that bubble.
All right, so that's just one thought that is chiming in with us on social media. Again, we're talking about preseason polls. Do we need them? Or should we scrap them? Your ideas on the preseason polls. Let's talk some Husker volleyball, shall we? Got some comments from Husker head coach Danny Busboom Kelly here this morning. Of course, the Huskers starting with their fall workouts in Lincoln. The red-white scrimmage is coming up on August the 9th. That's this weekend. August 16th, you've got the alumni game, which is something new for Nebraska volleyball. Then the Huskers swing right into action in the AVCA Showcase August the 22nd against Pittsburgh. We talked to the coach. She says, the scrimmage has been moved up a week because of that alumni game, which is coming up next Saturday.
Yeah, I think the alumni match forced it up. And once we realized we could make the alumni match happen, we wanted to have that be our dress rehearsal, obviously, because it's against another team completely, and just make the alumni or the red-white still a big deal. Obviously, it's sold out, and I know we want to put on a great show, but again, it's in hindsight, it's a practice.
And she was also asked her thoughts on the team, and she says her thoughts haven't changed. She says, I think we're going to be pretty good.
Very talented, super fun group. They really show every day that they, number one, love volleyball, number two, want to win. And that's every person on the team. And it's really hard to think of a glaring weakness. Of course, we want to get better at certain things, but right now there's nothing that's sticking out that is scary going into the fall.
And Danny says the depth on the roster has added to the practice schedule.
It's made it more competitive. It's allowed us to not really hold back because we don't feel like we have to limit the middles, let's say, or we have to watch out for somebody getting overtired. We can really just structure practice how you want to structure it, and know we have the breaks are built in naturally, so we don't have to really think about building in breaks or limiting a certain player or position. We can just run it exactly how we want to, and all of those things that you worry as a coach for longevity of the season are just working out naturally.
And the coach says the change in environment coming from Louisville to Nebraska has made her a better coach.
I relied on some assistants that I'd had for 8 years straight, 7 and 8 years at Louisville, and there was a very high level of comfort there. And so coming here and not having worked with anybody has already made me better. I've had to explain things much clearer. We're not all on the same page right away, so having more structured meetings with my staff. But there's not a lot that I would say personally I'm doing different. It's more managing my day, like talking to all you guys all the time, and just the fact that Nebraska volleyball is such a big deal for the state. I think that's been the biggest difference.
And Danny Busboom Kelly says she's got a feeling that this team is hungry.
The way practices are, like everything's a competition, and whether it's just a simple drill or an actual 6-on-6 drill, they take it very seriously. Also, the mindset in our morning practices, I feel like a lot of teams can go through the motions and that they know it's going to be light and a lot of first contact, but this team has taken those maybe even more serious than the afternoon practices. We did individuals yesterday, and I thought those were fantastic. Just the attention to detail, I think, is a sign of a very hungry team.
And Danny was asked about the number one ranking in the AVCA preseason coaches poll.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I get a vote, and I voted ourselves number one. I think we're pretty talented. So we're going to talk about that and talk about what it means to be number one, but we're not going to dwell on that or talk about it more for more than about 10 minutes. But I also don't want to avoid it. And I don't think anybody on our team is going to be surprised that we're preseason number one. I also don't think anybody believes that that's what we'll be in December, just because that's what we are right now, because they've been through it all.
And the coach also talked about the relationship between Bergen Riley, who's a junior, and also Campbell Flynn, who's a freshman. Couple of setters that Nebraska expected to lean on here for the season.
Bergen's a fantastic leader, and, I mean, no matter who came in as a setter with her, I think would have a great experience with an upperclassman like Bergen. I've seen Campbell get a little more confident, and they'll have more, conversations together instead of Bergen kind of telling Campbell what this drill is or what to do. So they've really started to push each other, and you can tell they're really supportive as a group. And we talk about that with all of our positions, which is going to be key for us this year, is seeing themselves as the best setters in the country, the best liberos, the best right sides, whatever it might be, instead of we have the best right side, we have the culmination of the best right sides. That's how I think Bergen and Campbell are starting to see themselves as two of the best setters in the country. We don't know who's going to be the starter yet, but as a group, there's nobody in the country that has as good as setters as we do. I definitely believe that.
And there's Danny Busboom Kelly as the Huskers get their fall workouts underway in Lincoln. Again, the red-white scrimmage coming up this Saturday. The alumni game, which is something new for Nebraska volleyball. That's going to be on next Saturday, August 16th. And then they'll swing right into action in the AVCA Showcase, and they'll take on Pittsburgh coming up on August the 22nd. That game will be at Pinnacle Bank Arena. So it'll be Pittsburgh and Stanford right out of the chutes for the Huskers on the 22nd and the 24th. It'll be Pittsburgh ranked number 3 and Stanford ranked number 6. So see, I'm a sports guy, and I'm using those preseason rankings in my cast here.
Mm-hmm. And if you know anything about college basketball or college volleyball, let's get the sport right. If you know anything about volleyball, you throw Nebraska, Pitt, and Stanford into the same blender, it's going to be pretty damn good volleyball. And I think you just know that. And I think that I would argue that more people are probably hardcore volleyball fans or are developing into hardcore volleyball fans around the state because of the success our program has had. And talking on that note, the number one ranking, yes, at the end of the day, like that puts the target on your back. You know that you're going to get everybody's best game because you own that number one ranking. But if you're from Nebraska, you're used to that anyway. The name across your chest indicates that you're going up against a extremely talented volleyball program year in and year out. And so whether Nebraska is ranked first or whether Nebraska is outside the top 25, because it's Nebraska, you're still going to get the best volleyball environment possible, with the best fans in the game, and an electric atmosphere, and can't miss TV, and you're also going to get everybody's best shot. They're going to rise to that occasion. Teams love getting up to play for Nebraska. Ask SMU, who did it not once but twice last season. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it's really cool to say, hey, we're number one, but we're number one in August doesn't mean a damn thing if we're not number one at the end of the year.
All right, so that's the comments from Danny. I wanted to get your thoughts before we get to our news break again.
Yeah.
On former coach John Cook and his new role, general manager and co-owner of the Omaha Supernovas. That's the professional volleyball team in Omaha. They're making a move to Major League Volleyball next season. Of course, he retired earlier this year. Danny Busboom Kelly, now the head coach. But John Cook, boy, he was retired a long time, wasn't he?
Listen, there's no greater person in the front office to grow the game of volleyball. And in Major League Volleyball, or whatever formation this league is going to ultimately look like, the future of professional volleyball hinges around strong leadership. And if you have John Cook in a front office role, directing traffic, essentially, for not only for his team, but really kind of to set the standard for this entire major league, this entire professional league, I think that he puts himself in a position to give the sport the greatest chance it has for professional success. And it's a crapshoot, and they're kind of playing in the weeds right now as far as professional volleyball is concerned. Yeah, they're going to have the support here in the state, but how can we grow this game outside of Nebraska? How can we grow attendance in other areas where this is going to take place? And I think the Supernovas are going to kind of be the trendsetters of the league. I think John Cook is going to help assist and facilitate in a lot of positive decisions that help put the sport on the map. They're going to navigate marketing. They're going to navigate revenue shares. They're going to navigate through TV contracts. And Cook knows how to grow the game. I mean, he has spent his life essentially turning Nebraska into a volleyball, not just like a mecca. I mean, it's a fortress. It's an unbelievable powerhouse that will have steam forever because of the work that he has put in place. And so I think if you're a fan of professional volleyball, not just Omaha, not just our homegrown Huskers, but the whole sport, you're excited that he's in this leadership role.
All right, so that was an interesting move in the sports ranks shortly after we left the air yesterday. Again, John Cook, general manager and co-owner now of the Omaha Supernovas. Waking up with Mike and Tyson this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:54.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Residents on Hastings and Lincoln Avenue between 7th and 10th, well, they're in the dark this morning as the city announced that they will be without power due to to facilitate the trimming of trees that are close to high voltage lines. The planned outage is set to last until around noon. Meanwhile, Hastings Fire and Rescue responded to a structure fire yesterday morning on West 7th Street. One resident, an adult male, exited the structure on his own, but did sustain minor injuries. The fire was under control in about 5 minutes. The fire has been determined to be unintentional and caused by combustibles too close to a stovetop. The fire was contained in the kitchen, but the structure sustained heat and smoke damage as a result. The Hastings Police Department has given data for their speeding prevention campaign that went from July 14th through the 31st. The campaign, funded from a grant from the Nebraska Department of Transportation, focused specifically on speeding and where speeding and injury crashes are most likely to occur. In total, Hastings Police Department officers worked an additional 130 hours of overtime during the grant enforcement period, which resulted in 120 citations, the majority issued for speeding, while other traffic-related violations occurred, including child restraint violations, no vehicle insurance, reckless driving, also issued, along with 4 arrests for driving under the influence of alcohol. 5 minutes until 8 o'clock. Let's head back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's the haps in sports?
Well, the Nebraska volleyball team will start the season ranked number 1 in the AVCA preseason coaches poll. It marks Nebraska's 109th week all-time at number 1 in the AVCA coaches poll, the most of any program in the nation. Last time the Huskers were ranked number 1 to start the season was prior to the 2022 season. Nebraska was last ranked number 1 in the AVCA poll on November 27th of 2023. Nebraska will be tested right out of the gate with matches against number 3 Pittsburgh and number 6 Stanford in the AVCA First Serve Showcase at Pinnacle Bank Arena on August 22nd and 24th. Nebraska has 12 regular season matches scheduled against preseason top 25 teams, including 6 against top 10 teams. Penn State is second in the preseason poll, followed by Pittsburgh, Louisville, and Texas. Rounding out the top 10 are Stanford, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Texas A&M, and SMU. In former Nebraska volleyball coach John Cook has been named the general manager and co-owner of the Omaha Supernovas. This comes as the professional volleyball team makes a move to Major League Volleyball. Cook retired from Nebraska earlier this year. Of course, Danny Busboom Kelly took over for him as a head coach. The Supernovas also announced that head coach Laura Bird Keene will be moving on from the franchise for other leadership opportunities. She'll be replaced by U.S. Olympic gold medalist Lucas Slob. Lincoln East beat Harrisburg of South Dakota 6-0 yesterday in the Central Plains Regional up in Fargo, North Dakota. East will play West Fargo of North Dakota at 3:30 this afternoon. Elkhorn North lost to Shakopee of Minnesota 6-1. North will play Yankton of South Dakota at noon today. Waverly won the Class B National Division State Tournament yesterday in Minden. Waverly beat Wayne 12-3 in the championship game after beating Alliance 8-2 earlier in the day. Hickman won the American Division Tournament in Auburn with a 10-0 win over Springfield. Hickman will play Waverly for the Class B State Championship on Saturday. Malcolm won the Class C State Championship for the 4th year in a row. They beat Pender yesterday by a score of 12-0 in the championship game played in Sutton. And the Kansas City Royals beat Boston 7-3 yesterday. Kansas City will open a series at Minnesota on Friday. First pitch will be at 7:10. That's a check in your sports headlines at 7:58.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Thursday, the summer heat cranks up once again. Plenty of sunshine, light winds in the southeast around 10 miles per hour and a high of 94. That's not the whole story, though, because the dew points will be hovering in the low 70s, which will make it feel like it's nearly triple digits. Heat continues into Friday, where we'll have a high around 100 degrees. With the heat index, it'll feel like it's 105. Chance of storms Friday night, and then mid-80s on Saturday and Sunday.
As you wake up, get going here this morning, southeast winds at about 7. Mostly sunny. It's already 72 in Hastings.
Have you checked the time lately? Good chance a Maletta Vista Winery is open. Hey, this is Mick with an update on our new hours. Tuesday through Sunday, we're open 11:30 to 3, and Fridays and Saturdays 11:30 till 9. Not sure what you want to enjoy when you get here? Well, Maletta Vista features award-winning wine, select beers, spirits, world-class foods, breathtaking views, and live entertainment. Visit MalettaVistaWinery.com. Check out our events page for music schedules and more. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Make your reservations now at Maletta Vista Winery, located on Highway 281, just north of St. Paul.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboard and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Welch, Heinz and Bronick with you. This is a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Thursday. A lot of info today. Talked about preseason polls in the first half hour this morning. Mm-hmm. Got some comments from Danny Busboom Kelly in the second half hour. So if you want to listen to the show again, you can. Just download the podcast section. Go to our websites. Go to our social media sites. And then download the podcast so you can listen to the show in its entirety whenever you want or when you got time to do it today. I know you're on a busy schedule, so you can listen to it anytime you want. What's up today? Anything exciting on your front?
No. Getting ready for tomorrow's show, though. We will have a guest, as we'll be talking about the... Give me a
Pioneer
second.
Village?
Pioneer Village, thank you. Yeah. Pioneer Village over in Minden. They've got a new employee and happens to be one of my high school classmates that I graduated with and longtime friends. So he'll stop by the Western Studios today, and we'll have that conversation for you tomorrow on some fun and exciting things that they've got coming up over the weekend and everything going on over there at the Pioneer Village. And it'd be a good opportunity to bring them into the Extreme Sports fold, to bring them into the Huddle Up family, and we look forward to extending our coverage to some of our guests and friends out in the Minden area, Kearney County.
All right, Hastings College football team, their fall workouts are underway. I get an eyeball on the Broncos today.
Heading out?
Yep, they're practicing twice today. So I don't make the 9 o'clock practice. I'm kind of like you. I can make the 3 o'clock practice. So maybe check out the Broncos and see what the coaches guys say.
Yeah.
9-3 Broncos are practicing. Other than that, not a whole lot going on for this day. I think Jim Slacker, he's going to join us tomorrow. I think there's some horse racing news that he wants to get on for tomorrow. So
sweet.
We're going to have a full show tomorrow. So anyway, we'll do it again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock here on Huddle Up Extreme Sports. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on X.